Did you look back at the tape? Have you watched it? Because when you're in the moment, you're delivering. Oh, you haven't rewatched it?
It's like watching yourself skydive again. Like, it's one of the most difficult and intimidating, but also one of the most essential opportunities you could ever be given as a performer. So it's not something you could say no to, but it's not something you'll ever be ready for. As much as I ran the jokes through the clubs, as much as I worked with my writers on the material, on the day, we were still working on material as the show was happening.
It's crazy. I've had the pleasure of attending several of the White House Correspondents Dinner when I was a journalist over.
Yeah.
And so that room, it's like 3,000 people. They never stop talking. Everyone is talking but looking past you to see the next person.
Yeah.
Because it is a networking, hobnobbing, and then the comedian comes on and they're all ready to judge you and not give you they're not like, okay, let me see what he's got. They're like, let me get ready to write a judgmental thing about what he says.
Trevor Noah said this about the event. He said that everybody wants you to talk about them, but not them. And that's exactly what this event is. And so, you know, it's still cool to be a part of. I just went up there with the idea of just making sure that you point out a little bit of hypocrisy on both sides of the aisle, and then also talk a little bit about what the media is going through, but also some of the blind spots that the media might be having right now, just with regards to the paywall is one hurdle, but I also think because there's a lack of money, there's a lack of staffing. And because there's a lack of staffing, there's a lack of diversity. And if there's a lack of diversity, there's a lack of fair and equitable coverage of marginalized communities. So there's a lot of different layers to it.
And that's the thing. I read one of the reviews obviously talked about the jokes and the wit that you put in there, but also the heart. You did call out some of the injustices right in the room. I mean, is it hard to talk about somebody with them like right there in your face?
No, what you gonna do, run up on the stage? I mean, if it's one thing we know about politicians, they ain't got no hands. Them folks came to the Capitol on January 6th, everybody ran. That was your day to show that you got hands. They ain't got no hands.
Was there any joke that you left?
Hang on one second. Please don't audit my taxes.
Don't audit.
Politicians. Better clean that up real quick. You know, that's how they get you.
Right. This is a live show, so right now someone's looking up your Social Security number, wondering what you didn't do right on it. Was there any joke that you left on the cutting room floor that you was like, oh, I can't do this one. This one's too much?
We had some Mitch McConnell jokes, then he failed. So we dropped them. I'm just being fair. See, stop laughing. I didn't even do the joke. We had some jokes, and I was like, you know what, man, let's just not do it. You know,
don't kick him while he's down.
Yeah, and then the Don Lemon Tucker Carlson stuff happened. I was like, perfect. We don't even need that joke. We don't need the Chinese spy balloon jokes because the media cycle kept moving. The thing that I think is frustrating, though, about performing is that you don't get to dictate how people receive the material.
I heard you say that. My friend is Don Lemon, my dear friend, by the way. And you said the jokes about him were taken out of context and weaponized.
Yeah, a little bit online, because people are like, if you already don't like someone, then you can use the joke to put a flag in the sand on that person. But I was making the jokes about Don to also highlight that, regardless of how you feel about him being fired, the fact of what he did on air in terms of fighting for marginalized communities, there's a blind spot now. So we have to watch and see how media companies fill that gap going forward. Because this election gonna be serious. You know it's finna get, it is already serious.